The OldPreMeds podcast, session number 191. You're a non-traditional student entering the medical field on your terms. You may have had some hiccups along the way, but now you're ready to change course and go back and serve others as a physician. This podcast is here to help answer your questions and help educate you on your non-traditional journey to becoming a physician. Welcome to the OldPreMeds podcast. My name is Dr. Ryan Gray, your host here every week, where I take questions directly from you from the OldPreMeds, the non-traditional pre-med form, over at premedforums.com. I have a great question today about a student who's asking what he can do as a medical student as far as family and having a life. Our student today is Colin, and he says, "Hello, fellow non-trads. My name is Colin, and I'm concerned about life in medical school. Yeah, I know the workload will be grueling and I will spend a lot of time studying, but I'm really wondering about how families are living during medical school. Are most of you non-traditional students' families being solely supported by your significant other financially through the whole process? Are the schools giving out housing opportunities to families so that the student doesn't have to worry about keeping a roof over their children's and wife's head? I'm going to go through this process eventually and just would like to know if I need to wait a couple more years to just get way more financially stable. My wife and I are currently both working part-time so we can go to the community college for undergrad. We also have a daughter and another little one coming soon. I'm 24, but I am questioning if I should wait till my kids are a lot older and maybe even adults to even start medical school." All right. Now, Colin is thinking ahead, which is great. Trying to think through this process, trying to figure out this process and make the best decisions for him and his family. And ultimately, that's the answer, is what is the right decision for you and your family? Everyone is going to tolerate different risks. Everyone is going to tolerate different stresses. Everyone is going to tolerate different lifestyles. So let me tell you what I do understand with this process. Now, I went to New York Medical College and we had lots of families in our medical school class. And New York Medical College is one of the few medical schools in the country that actually have student housing right there on the medical school campus. It's typically not a thing, but they have housing, and they had specific family housing that was more than just like a dorm room style 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom kind of living room and kitchen suite for single people. Right, not co-ed, but all males, 4 males and 4 different bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, etc. Right, typical kind of college format that you would see for a dorm room. They had that kind of style, but they also had family housing for students who had families. Every medical school will have different resources available to you. Every medical school is going to be a little bit different with how much they want to or can accommodate families. But know that as you go through this process, part of the loans that you take out for medical school cover the cost of living as well. So every year, medical schools will set a budget, and the budget for your class is going to be tuition, other fees and books and supplies that you're going to need. It's going to be what's the cost of insurance, what's the cost of having transportation, what's the cost of housing in your specific area. And so if you go to a medical school in New York City, your overall yearly budget is going to be pretty big, even if tuition isn't that much, because the housing costs are going to be a lot. And when you have a family, the housing cost is based on typically single people. And so you may have to, depending on what the process is for the medical schools that you are applying to or that you get into, you are going to potentially have to appeal to them or submit something to have your specific budget changed because you have a family. Maybe you have to work in daycare for your kids. Maybe you have to work in an increased cost of living calculation because you need a little bit bigger place because you have a wife and 2 kids. every medical school will hopefully accommodate you in some way based on what you are asking for. I can't promise you that every medical school will want to do that. I don't know if they have to do that. Maybe I should learn that for a future episode. But I would ask. And why it's important is because your loans from the federal government are based on that budget from the school. And so you can only take out a maximum up to the budget number that they set. And so if you need housing costs of $1,500 a month, but they only budgeted $1,000 or $750, you're going to be short potentially with your student loans. Now, obviously, if you can take out less loans than you need, awesome. If you can save up now so that you can pay for that potential cost difference with savings, great. But if you do need to have your loans increased, or ask that your budget is increased so that you can take more out from the government, then that's what you do. And you whatever the process is for that school, you go through that process and hope that they will accommodate you. It means you're taking out more loans, but if that's what you need to do this process, and to go to medical school, to become a physician, to change your life, to support your family in a different way, then do it. And again, as I said at the beginning, everyone's risk tolerances, everyone's lifestyle abilities are going to be different. And so what is right for you is potentially not going to be right for someone else. Maybe you are only comfortable going to medical school later when your kids are older. That's okay. But there are plenty of people who are going to go to medical school now so that they're out and working as their kids get older and not worrying about life in medical school later. So again, kind of a personal decision, but hopefully that was helpful to shed some light on the process for you. Again, if you have a question you want answered here on the podcast, go to medicalschoolhq.net/forums and ask your question. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time here on the Old Pre-Meds podcast.
This is MedEd Media.